Today, we're going to go over 6 tricks to generate more clicks without simply just making more content. And I'll spare you the long-winded hook here, and we're just going to dive right into it. So trick number 1 is using YouTube community posts. This is a little known feature. Not many people use it right now. And the reason why these are so powerful is because you can add links right into your posts on YouTube. Plus, they stand out in the feed really well. So like the community posts are getting a ton of traction right now simply because they stand out in the feed. At least that's why I think they're working well. When you see a community post, it looks a lot different than just the normal video or short that you see in your feed on YouTube, right? So it gets people's attention, and if you post the right content in your community post, it can really get a lot of traction and drive a lot of traffic for you, since you can add links directly in your post that people don't just have to copy, they can actually click on. So yeah, for the time being, they're getting a ton of traction, but as more people catch on, I'm sure that it'll get harder and harder to get, a ton of traction on these. So start using them as soon as possible and taking advantage of this little known gold mine. One big thing to think about is people may not see your links otherwise on YouTube. If they're just watching your shorts or whatever, and you're not actively calling out that you have a link in your bio or calling out your different offers in your content, most people are never going to end up going to your channel and going to your bio and checking your links and all that. So this is a great way to call out a specific offer, a specific link, or even a specific video that you want them to watch as well, which we'll get into in a second. One big thing you can do with community posts is leverage polls and quizzes for more engagement. I wouldn't do this every single post, obviously. You have to be clever with it. But one popular way that I've seen a lot of creators doing is they'll, put 4 or 5 topics into their poll and let their community vote on which topic they want the creator to make a video on next, which I think is great for driving engagement, but it doesn't necessarily drive more traffic for them with that particular poll, right? So yeah, just leverage polls and quizzes when you can, and this will help you drum up more engagement with your community posts. Pro tip I have for community posts is, instead of sending people directly off the platform with a direct link to your website or what have you in your community post, you can actually use a YouTube video as a quote unquote bridge instead of linking off the platform right away. So you can send them to a specific long form YouTube video that you have that then promotes other links that will take them off of YouTube. This way, you appease the algorithm, you keep people on the platform longer from your community posts, and then YouTube is more and more likely to keep pushing that community post to more and more of your audience. So anytime you can, use a YouTube video as a bridge to wherever you want to link people to. But in the cases that you can't do that, just to link them directly off of YouTube. It works either way, but overall, YouTube community posts are a great way of driving traffic, and really a little known tactic that people are not utilizing at scale right now. So if you're a content creator, I would take full advantage of it while you still can before it gets saturated. Trick number 2 is going to be using Instagram and TikTok stories. This typically isn't new to any content creator out there, but I'm going to go through it anyway. IG stories are way better than TikTok stories. Obviously, like Instagram pushes stories in a much better way, in the sense that the little bubbles are at the top of people's apps as soon as they log in. Whereas TikTok stories, they're buried on people's accounts. You have to actually go to their profile to find them in most cases. So it's way easier for an IG story to be clicked on and watched through than it is for a TikTok story, especially with highlights and all that good stuff. So if you're doing stories on Instagram and you have TikTok, then you should basically mirror your IG stories on TikTok. But I wouldn't worry too much about TikTok stories, at least not until they update the way that they're being served to people. Anyway, your stories are where you can do a bit more hard selling and promoting. You basically want to do, 80% organic content, 20% selling content. So that 80% organic content is just kind of showing people your day to day, letting them into your personal life. But yeah, your stories are where you can do a bit more selling. Like in your regular feed, you probably do, 90% value, 10% selling content. Whereas in stories, you can get a little bit more than that as far as getting to an 80-20 mix. No matter what, don't always be selling, don't always be promoting. It won't work. You'll burn your audience out. But as long as you do an 80-20 mix, you should be fine. Another cool thing with Instagram stories is that you can add a link call out to your story. So you can add a little card to it that has a link on it and a call to action. So when people click on it, it goes directly to a link. And that's a great way of driving traffic off the Instagram platform. But again, the platforms don't really like it when you take people directly off the platform. So you can use DM phrases to keep people on Instagram longer and appease the Instagram algorithm. Basically, in your stories, tell them to DM you the word monetize to get a free ebook or what have you. And then that way they go from your story to your inbox, they interact with you on your inbox, they get a link from you, they click on it from there. So they stayed on the platform a little longer, and that story is going to get pushed further than a story with a link call out would. that pushes people directly off the platform right away. Again, they both work. They both have their use cases, but anytime you can, I would use DM phrases to appease the algorithm and keep them on the platform longer. And then lastly, for stories, a pro tip is that you can use story highlights on Instagram to basically set up mini VSLs for your different offers. So each of your different offers could be a little bubble, a little story highlight, and it could be something that you also call out in your content. Like go to the story highlight titled Monetize to see whatever offer that you're promoting, right? But long story short, these highlights about your offers could be, anywhere from 10 to 20 different slides going over the features, advantages, and benefits of the offer, showing testimonials, going over the frequently asked questions people have, going over pricing, blah, blah, blah. And then that way, people can actually go through a little virtual sales process on your Instagram page, and then the last slide have them click on a link. That way they've consumed 10 to 20 different story slides before they go off the platform, and they're already pre-sold by the time that they get to your offer because you've provided them with all the information they needed about it in the story VSL that you set up. So this is another cool way of using story highlights on Instagram to drive traffic to your offers, and it's definitely a pro way of doing it. I'll probably make a video specifically about this at some point in the future. But trick number 3 is using caption call to actions. You probably do this already in some ways, but you're going to want to use these little tricks that I have for you. So you should add call to actions to your captions whenever the content calls for a call to action. If it doesn't call for a call to action, don't just add a template call to action there, because the reality is if the content doesn't match the call to action, it's just not going to work. It's not going to be effective, and it's actually going to hurt you in the sense that consumers are going to look at you like you're always trying to sell them, right? There's a lot of people that put a content call to action template in every single one of their posts, but it's my belief that this not only hurts their viewership as far as the platforms don't continuously push those posts because they look at each of those call to action templates as duplicate content essentially, but the consumer also looks at that creator as, this guy's only trying to sell me. That's the only reason why he's posting this video. So don't use a call to action every single one of your captions, but whenever it calls for it, definitely use one. 1 to 3 sentences will typically do the trick. I like to keep it as short as possible, so most of my call to actions are 1 to 2 sentences long. Overall, just try to keep it short and sweet. Save time, you should save your caption call to actions as templates to use over and over. Just don't use them all, like don't use the same one over and over and over and over. You should have 20 to 30 call to action templates that you cycle through as you post so that you're not always using the same one over and over and over. But in a month's time frame, if you have 20 to 30 call to action templates, you might use each one once or twice in a month. That way you're not getting filtered out by the duplicate content filters or the spam filters, what have you, and you're saving time because you're not having to rewrite a new call to action with every single post that you make. You should also create a handful of templates for each offer. I would say, again, if you have 2 to 3 offers, you want to create 20 to 30 call to action templates for each one of those offers. And a great way of doing that is just leveraging ChatGPT. If you prompt it correctly, you're able to get it to spit out 30 call to action templates within a couple of minutes. And if you want to cut out the beginner mistakes, I actually have a AI prompt in my AI prompts and guides library that you get for free when you sign up for Internet Income System. And this prompt will help you create just a shitload of call to action templates at once. So if you want that, go sign up for Internet Income System today. I'll leave a link in the description. But anyway, lastly, as far as call to actions in your captions, do not use the phrase link in bio. Do not use hashtag link in bio. Don't do Abraham Lincoln bio. Like that shit doesn't work. They have people that are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to look for these loopholes. It stinks that that's the case, but it is the case. So just be clever and don't use the word link in bio. Do something else. Since we're talking about clicks so much, I can't help but introduce you to the Cluick ProduMouse. As a content creator, there are countless ways that you can leverage a mouse like this to save time in your day-to-day workflows. You can get so much boring and repetitive work done faster. You can make your daily workflows more efficient. And you can also save your wrists and hands from strains, because when you use a mouse like this, you no longer have to move or use your left hand as much. You can do everything with your right hand using this mouse. So if I wanted to, I could eat a sandwich with my left hand and edit the video with my right hand in full. I literally would not have to use my left hand at all or my keyboard at all to edit the video that you're watching right now. So long story short, if you want to save time like thousands of other people are saving time, you can go to my website, click here. I'll leave the link in the description. It's just click.com. You will land on a page like this. and you could read about all the different things that the ProduMouse does for you, all the different benefits, all the different features, blah, 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 and see if it's right for you. Fact is, this mouse will save you so much time. It's insane. It pays for itself. And if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back personally. So go ahead, get yourself a Cluick ProduMouse today. You'll be so glad you did. But without any further ado, let's get right back into the video. Next, trick number 4 is to use pinned comment call to actions. So very similar use case as the caption call to actions, right? Basically, you want to put a call to action in your pinned comment on YouTube, and this is only applicable for YouTube. Whatever your main call to action is for each of your YouTube videos, you should put in your pinned comment as a call to action as well. Now, you can literally just use a call to action in your pinned comment, like that's literally all you would put in your pinned comment, or you can add a little bit more context above it, like a hook and then a call to action. But for the most part, I see creators only using a call to action in their pinned comment, and it works very well. So make sure you do that whenever it makes sense to do so. I would add them as sort of a backup call to action, like obviously in your videos, you're calling them to action, you're telling them to go to the description, what have you, but not everybody's going to, not everybody interacts with YouTube in the same way. So you want to you want to take up as much real estate as possible to collect as many eyeballs as possible on your call to action. So this is a great place to add a call to action simply as a backup for the people that aren't checking your description, aren't paying attention to the parts of your video where you're calling them to action, to the description, what have you. And this will catch the people that just go to the comments to look for fodder or what have you. But yeah, there's really not much else to say about pinned comment call to actions. Pretty much everything that applies for caption call to actions applies here. So we'll move on from here. Trick number 5 is going to be using callout ads. This is something that I don't see a lot of people doing, and it's something that you should be doing, especially if you're a faceless creator. Because if you're a faceless creator, you're probably using other people's content for the most part, and that content doesn't already have a call to action for your offers in it, right? So you need to add something to the video to get people to even know about your offers. Overall, faceless creators should be adding these call out ads to pretty much all of their videos, whereas a creator with a face doesn't need to use these as much simply because they're using their voice and their actual script to call their audience to action. However, it doesn't hurt, especially in a long form video, to just pop up a little call out ad like this anytime that you do say something in your video, because there is a possibility that that person's watching your video on mute or what have you, or they're just more of a visual person that responds to visual cues better than vocal cues. So let's go over some examples of what call out ads look like. First and foremost, this is how I've done it in Canva. Basically, I have this farmer humor page that I run that I just, use other people's content. And all I do, we'll play this video real quick, is towards the end here, pops up this little card there that says, do you want to learn how I make money with this page? Check bio for free training. Right. And so I add this to the end of pretty much all the videos that I make for this page. And it's a great way of getting people to know about the offer that I have. And it's not all that intrusive at the end of the day. Yes, it's an ad. Yes, it's added to the video. It looks promotional, what have you. But the fact is, it's not really taking anything away from the video. And these videos still go viral because of it. It's not like you're going to add this to it and your video is not going to go viral because of a little call out ad. But if your video does go viral without a call out ad, it won't generate nearly as much traffic as it will with a call out ad. So that's why I add them to every one of the videos. It drives way more traffic this way and gets way more people to know about the fact that I even have something to offer them on this faceless page. So another great example is how this page, Bolt Motivation, does theirs. I'm going to start playing this video because it doesn't pop up for a little bit, but you see they have this little animated logo on each of their videos. If you come to their page, you can check it out for yourself, but it's really nice and branded that way. And you'll see in a second, see it says want to edit like this, and then it hits you with link in bio. Probably shouldn't say link in bio just for the fact that, the algorithms obviously read everything that's in the videos, your captions, it listens to everything that's said in your videos, blah, 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 and it scores you based off all that. So if it senses link in bio in your captions, there's a possibility that it could be suppressed. Regardless, that way of doing it, the way that they do it here, is very subtle, it's very branded, it's very integrated with the content, and it's not distracting in the least bit but it gets their people to understand that they do have something to offer them. If people want to edit like this, then they can go to the link in bio to get whatever offer they have that will obviously match that call to action as far as helping them edit the way that Bolt Motivation does. So if you're not adding things like this to your video currently, then I would highly suggest that you start adding call to actions like this to your videos, because you will drive just way more traffic because of it. Even if you only get 10% more clicks because of it, it's 10% more clicks that you would not have gotten if you didn't add something like this. So definitely think about using call out ads like this in each one of your videos, especially if it just integrates the content as well as this does. One thing to mention is a lot of people will never go to your profile or bio unless you use a call out ad. Again, it goes with all these different little tactics that I'm giving you here today. The reason why you want to do these things is because you want as many people to know about your offers as humanly possible, and that's why you make the content you make. If not, I don't know what you're watching me for. What are you going to monetize there? But yeah, no, the fact is like you build your audience to monetize it, and the way to monetize it is to get people to know about your offers and ideally convert and turn into customers. So again, without these little call out ads, a lot of people would never even know about your offers and therefore would never go to your profile or your bio unless you add a call out ad like this to each of your videos. As a little piece of free value, you can check the description of this video to steal my call out ad Canva template. Basically, I'll give you this template that I have here if you want it. I'll even make it so that you can actually, just build this little call out ad and add it to your videos no matter what video editing software you use. So check the description for this download link and use it if you want. So that brings us to the last trick, which is actually the best trick in my opinion. You should be scaling your winning content with what I have dubbed content CreAdvertising. So basically any video that is working and turning your views into cash, you should scale it up with paid ads. Typically as you're posting videos, you can tell which videos are working, which videos are making you money, what have you. When you can pinpoint a video that is working and turning your views into cash, then you should basically just spend money on paid ads to get more eyeballs on that video and to squeeze as much juice out of it as possible. The cool thing about this is that you can actually add a link or call to action button to your organic content when you run it as an ad. So if you post a piece of organic content to your Instagram, for example, right, and it does well, when you go and set up an Instagram ad in the Meta Ads Manager, do not boost a post, do not use the Instagram app promote features, use the actual Meta Ads Manager. But when you do that, you can pick your piece of content that already has tons of social proof on it, has all these views, likes, comments, blah, blah, blah. And you can use that existing post as an ad, but now you can add a link or a call to action button to that piece of content, right? You didn't have that before. When you just post it regularly, you're just posting the video the way it normally is. It doesn't have a button attached to it or what have you. But now when you run it as an ad, it does, and it allows you to drive just way more traffic with that video than you were organically. So not only are you able to scale that piece of content endlessly, you're actually getting better performance out of that piece of content by running it as an ad in comparison to running it just as a regular organic piece of content. So yeah, this is super powerful in the sense that you can basically test which pieces of content are going to work for free in the organic environment, but then once it works, then you can scale it up endlessly with paid ads, and you're basically guaranteed to not lose money at that point, because as long as the content that you're promoting is working in an organic environment, it will work in a paid ads environment 99% of the time, and you'll be able to spend $1 and make $2 back or more pretty much every time, as long as you set your ads up correctly. Using paid ads in combination with your organic content is good to drive traffic, grow followers, boost engagement, and convert customers. Basically, all the different outcomes that you want from your content, you're able to get more of with paid ads. One thing to mention with this is that running paid ads does not affect your organic reach like some people think. The fact is, if any ad platform ever got caught suppressing views organically because you were buying ads and try to get you to buy more ads, logically I understand why people think this is the case, but it's just not, because in such a sensitive cancel culture driven world, if an ad platform like Facebook ever got found out for suppressing organic views to get you to buy more paid ads, if that was ever publicly made known and proven, Facebook would be burned to the ground the next day by consumers. Consumers would not take that lightly at all. they would end up boycotting the platform, talking shit about it, blah blah blah. So I just don't see in any world that where it makes sense for an ad platform to suppress your views to get you to buy more paid ads. I can see why consumers would think that way, but an ad platform just wouldn't do that. And in my experience, I've ran plenty of paid ads for content creators or companies that create content, and I've never seen a correlation to where when I run paid ads that the organic reach drops. So I know a lot of people like to separate the two and they say, oh, I'm only doing organic content. I'm not doing paid ads because if I run paid ads, it's going to drop my reach tomorrow. It's not going to happen that way. Trust me when I say it. You'll never be able to bring me proof of that being the case, other than just skepticism. There's a possibility that when you post an ad, your next piece of content sucks, and then you think in your mind, I got less views because I paid for ads. But that's just not the case. It won't ever be the case. And if it was ever proven again, that ad platform would be burned to the ground. But I'm going to leave it at that for now. I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope you go out and actually try some of these tricks. And if you do, let me know in the comments what kind of lift and clicks that you had. Other than that, go ahead and watch another video. Or if you want to learn more about content CreAdvertising and monetization in general, then go to the description and there will be a free monetization training for you to watch that will teach you everything that you need to know about monetization as a content creator. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments. Have a great rest of your day.